We are live.
Hi. For anyone in Unholy Sarah's birthday stream, watch this later. And
Yes.
I just want to put this as a disclaimer right now. Look, a lot of us are in quarantine. I am so freaking lucky. I work for a company that is based out of Europe, and I am able at this point, as of yesterday, which is so cool, to work from home. So I'm working from home right now. So like if people don't always show up in the moment in the live stream, like, this is the beauty of YouTube. It's cool. A lot of us are in this situation where we are quarantining or self-quarantining, or God forbid, fuck, I'm an atheist. No, God forbid. You're in a situation.
It's idiom.
It is. It's idiom.
I will allow it.
Oh, thank you for that weird ass blessing. Yeah. So essentially, what I'm trying to say is that I get it. Like, oh, Dave. Dave is here. Thank you, Dave. Hello. How are you? And but at the same time, like, if you can't watch everybody's thing simultaneously, it's okay. You know, this is the beauty of YouTube. Come back, watch it later. I was hanging out in Unholy Sarah's chat room with Andy the Fellows. It was lovely, and I will go back and rewatch the rest of it later. It's okay. I have the power to do that. Thank you, YouTube and internet. So that's the disclaimer for this episode. All right, what is our topic?
All right. Our topic.
So, Wine and Reason plus... No, that's fine. Wine and Reason plus Junk Shop Library equals what tonight?
Quarantine for Introverts.
Quarantine for Introverts. Guys.
You'd think it would be the most beautiful thing in the world, would you not?
This is our time.
We've been training for this.
We have. Our whole lives. Hang on, wait. Hold up.
Hi, sorry. Angie.
Angie! Oh, Angie, I love you so much. Virtual hug. Dave, virtual hugs. Okay, hang on. Well, we're toasting. Introverts, this is our time.
Introverts, together.
Mm-hmm. Now, in case you hadn't guessed it, Junk Shop and I both have a theater background. I was a theater major. He and I both have extensive community theater background. In fact, at one point, we were in the same... is it okay that I tell the story?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Thank you.
I don't know how interesting it was.
Well, I think
it's our story.
It's a really cool story. Okay, so here's the thing. My older brother Michael and I don't think he won't mind if I just say his first name. Michael's so fucking common. Anyway, my older brother Michael and I did a lot of shows at this particular theater in Paducah, Kentucky, where we were born and raised. Well, Michael was born in Louisville, but doesn't matter. I was born in Paducah. Yeah. Anyway, point is, we did a lot of shows, and the children's theater group was called Footlights, and our director was this wonderful lady named April Cochran, and her husband built all of the sets. I want to say his name was...
I don't remember.
Dave, but I might... Okay, we shouldn't say it. I'm sorry. April, if you ever see this, I apologize to you and your husband for not remembering his name. Sorry. I love you. Anyway, we're Facebook friends. I could fucking find out. I just didn't beforehand. I didn't know I was going to tell the story tonight. Anyway, so, here's the lovely thing. So, my dad gets transferred by the Federal Aviation Administration to Memphis, Tennessee in 1992, right when I'm going from 8th grade into 9th grade in the high school. Joel, shortly thereafter, his father is working as a pastor in Paducah, Kentucky, in the Methodist Church, and Joel ends up... Oh, shit.
It's all right. Just keep rolling.
Junk Shop ends up working, being in Footlights at the same theater. So April, this same director, knew both of us. And my brother, who keeps up with everyone and their godmother, was friends with April on Facebook and had been for years. And he got to be the one to tell her, hey, by the way, you remember my little sister? Do you remember Junk Shop Library? They're married now. And she was so thrilled. And it was just this lovely moment of like somebody who had known both of us when we were kids and was like, I can totally see that. That's amazing. And so it's really cool. All right. So your turn. So quarantine for introverts. I'm loving it thus far. I worked an 8-hour shift in my PJs. I changed into regular clothes for this because I didn't have any Skype meetings today. But yeah, that's where I'm at. I loved it. How are you?
I don't know yet.
Hmm?
I saw someone online exactly phrase really how I'm feeling about this situation just this afternoon. Well, it's somebody we all know. It's Bionic Dance.
Oh, I love her.
Who said something to the effect of, it's the option that I require. Like, if I choose not to go out into the world, I just keep sliding further and further off camera.
Stop that. You're adorable.
If I choose not to go out into the world for a couple of weeks on end, and that's my choice.
That's my choice.
That's my damn choice.
Oh, I get where she's going.
I can't, for fear of my own safety and for fear of the safety of others, that is when it becomes vexing.
Yeah, and problematic.
And that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, no, and
the fact that I don't have the because I mean, anybody watching this knows I spend a solid 75% of my time online anyway.
He's no Dave, but he's close.
Yeah,
just saying, you know.
But not to have the option to run out and go grab a beer at a bar because all the damn bars are closed. Not to have the option to run out and go to a movie theater because all the damn movie theaters are closed. You know, it's the elimination of options is what has
rankles.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a much more concise way of putting it. Thank you, my love.
You're welcome, darling. I love you too. We were about to kiss on air. Anyway, no, the point is on air. Like
on air, yes.
Jesus Christ.
The FCC gonna come get us.
We're so important that it's on air. No, we're not. Anyway, no, actually, can I springboard off of that?
Of course.
Okay, so okay, so here's the thing. I had a sinus infection. And I knew it was a sinus infection because anyone, Angie, Dave, anyone who's ever had a sinus infection, you know what they feel like, you know what they look like. I don't need to go into lurid detail. You know what it's like. But, please, remark, because I was about to. Anyway, so, oh, nice. Yeah. Hashtag blame mathpig. Anyway, but yeah.
Oh, I had a banner for that.
Oh, do it. But seriously, like,
oh, that was high pitched.
Anyway, so the point is that no, my voice is all whiskey and cigarettes. Y'all don't get. I mean, the vocal burr or the vocal fry is just what you get from me. I'm sorry. I think I can do it normally if I really try, but that probably sounds weird and put on, and it feels weird and put on, so I'm not gonna do it anymore. Okay. So, point is that Saturday night I was supposed to be in.
Hey, Mr. Shadow Kitty.
Hey, Shadow Kitty. I was supposed to be in a D&D game, like physically, like IRL, in real life friends, right? So, but I texted everybody beforehand. I was like, hey, here's the thing. I've got these symptoms. I'm running a fever, and where we play D&D happens to be a condominium structure wherein a lot of elderly people live. And so my lovely friend, who is not elderly, she's quite a bit younger than I am, Kat, texted me and said, hey, I'm worried about, you know, because we play in their public room. Thank you, darling. We play in their public spaces. And she said, hey, I'm just really worried about the older people here. And I was like, hey, no problem. Can you Skype me in? If you can't, that's fine. So, and she was like, no, I totally can. So she Skyped me in, and so I was a talking head at the table and got to play. I did 2 D&D games Saturday with a fever. Sunday I had a fever. Monday I still had a fever. Now these are all low grade, like super low grade, like 1 degree above normal fevers. But that's what they were telling us to, like, hey, don't expose other people if you've got this. So Sunday night I texted my boss, who was amazing. And I said, "Hey, I'm in a bit of a moral quandary. I know I have maybe 1 vacation day left and no sick days left, and I for the fiscal year, and I don't know what to do. Here's my symptoms. What should I do?" And he immediately texted back and said, "Stay home, take care of you, and don't worry about it." And I was like, "Okay, thank goodness." And then, of course, by Wednesday, I just had to go up to work, collect my materials, and I was working from home. So that's the beauty of my situation. But the funny thing is, after 4 days of not going out, like Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, of not going out, not seeing anybody, we bought groceries Friday night, we were ready to go. I posted that thing, the funny thing with like the 3 boxes of wine, but then I got sick, so those lasted longer than we thought they would, but that's fine. But then we were yesterday. Sorry, yesterday, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to drive 45 minutes into work, and it was raining, and bless their hearts, Andy, you know what I mean by that. Nobody in my town knows how to drive when the streets are wet.
I don't know how to drive when the streets are dry. Let's not kid ourselves.
They don't. But honestly,
it only gets worse with the rain.
An on-ramp onto a very frequently used highway was turned into an off-ramp because of a 4-car pileup. That's what happens in my city when it's raining, because no one knows how to freaking drive. They drive like the streets are dry. They don't seem to understand the difference. And I don't know what this is, because you and I don't have this problem, and most people I know individually don't have this problem, but it just happens. So I don't know what to tell you. But anyway, so and then I got all my equipment home from work, and we realized we needed another not cable. What was the word?
It was adapter.
Adapter. Yeah, we needed an adapter. So we went to one store that said they had it, and they didn't. So they sent us to another store, and those folks were lovely. So the Office Max on Union Avenue in Memphis, Tennessee. If you ever need to go there, I say I'm love for Memphis all the time. They know where we are. You ever need to go there? Those people know what they're doing, and they're amazing. And thank you, all of you. Then we got home and discovered that we also needed an Ethernet cable, because apparently my company stuff didn't work just on Wi-Fi. I understand that it's a more secure connection. So then luckily I just had to go across the street to Walgreens and get an Ethernet cable. So by then, my workday was almost over, and even then, it was just what I failed to tell you up until this point is that I had 2 panic attacks, full-on panic attacks, and I am fully medicated. I don't have these very often anymore because I'm medicated against them, because I tend to have them while driving, and I had 2 yesterday. And it was rough and very stressful. And Junk Shop drove everywhere. Bless his heart. What's that?
Shadow Kitty says New Jersey has 60-mile-an-hour traffic jams.
Gosh.
Never mind. I'll stop complaining about the traffic.
You win. You win. Jersey wins. This might be the only time you hear that. Sorry. Ooh, that was harsh. I apologize.
Wow.
I know. I just got weird. It just got weird. I'm sorry. Jersey gets so little love. But it doesn't.
Chris Christie likes it.
Oh, that's not helpful. Eli Bosnick lives there, Mr. Shadow Kitty. So one of my favorite podcasters lives there and owns a home in your state. Fuck me running. All right, I'm gonna stop talking now. Anyway, point is, it was incredibly stressful. It was stressful to be out. It was weird to be driving all over the cities, because we, Memphis, Germantown, and from U of M district to downtown and back,
various
and
suburbs,
various
of the area.
areas. Yeah, it was all weird and very stressful. And by the time we got home, we were both a little shaky and like, oh, can this be over now? My boss sent me a very nice email saying thank you for going to get the extra things you needed to make this work. And
no problem.
I was
I'm going to be at home.
I was like, no problem. I kept the receipts. But it's no, it's fine. It wasn't expensive. It was just stressful. That was the big deal. So, so that's where we are. So for us, like the being inside, and this is the weird part, like the natural urge to help out. We've been in close contact with our parental units. April Cochran will get that joke. We've been in close contact with our parents. We've been in close verbal contact with our parents.
Yeah, let me throw up an asterisk, please. Clarify and specify. Mm-hmm. We have not been in physical contact with our parents because our parents are old as fuck.
Well, mine are 77. It doesn't matter. Anyway, go ahead.
Old as fuck. And it's the old fuckers.
Your mom will not appreciate that.
Young fuckers.
Yes.
And the immunocompromised.
Fair.
Who are at greatest risk because of this current viral joy that we're all experiencing. Yeah. And we've got various permutations of all three of those risk factors in various corners of our family.
Yes.
So, just for the sake of clarification that we are indeed responsible humans.
We are.
We have been in close technological contact with our loved ones. We have had no contact whatsoever with anyone who wasn't physically selling us something at the time.
Well, that's not entirely true.
It's close enough.
It's close enough. My brother...
It's close enough.
All right. Well, I'm just going to say, my brother came over briefly to help me with a hookup computer thing. He is an IT guy who handles peripherals, and he helped me hook things up and told me the right questions to ask my company. This was not, he didn't get into my company's stuff at all. He's not a software guy. He's a hardware guy. But he told me this is what you need to ask them when you call in the morning. And I was like, okay, great. So he came over, but he was literally wearing blue latex gloves. And for the first time in our lives, we saw each other in person and didn't hug. And
that's where the weirdness comes in.
It was weird.
The ways in which we're all having to adapt our normal behavior in order to deal with that which shall not be named.
Yeah, because it's not natural for, this guy. I am so lucky. I am one of 4 children. And the only reason I'm not close with my eldest sibling is that he and we're just really far apart in age, and we're far apart in distance, and so but with the twins, with Lisa and Michael, I'm very close, and we've always been very close. We're very different. Oh wait, what? Put it up.
Angie says, I had to go to town today.
Well, oh no.
Traffic wasn't any different. All the idiots like me out and about.
Angie, you are not an idiot. Ever.
Stuttering Chris is here. Chris! He wants to know if we have bog roll.
We do.
We do. Because we had foresight and so didn't have to pillage for it like everyone else.
And honestly, guys, we just bought one big pack. And I said to Joel...
like adults.
Well, I said to Junk Shop, hey, buy the bigger pack than the normal size one. And he did. Just one. We weren't hoarding it. He just bought the larger pack than we normally buy.
This was sort of just before the chaos became a thing.
Yeah.
It's just right on that 1 or 2 days where everybody could kind of tell this might be bad, but none of us were quite sure how bad it could get. And then 48 hours later, it was like, oh my God, people are dying everywhere. Everyone needs to work
Kroger's out
from
of bread.
home. Nobody has any bread, any eggs, any TP, any yeast, anything.
We had to buy the sad chicken eggs, y'all. I felt so awful. Because I like to buy free-range chicken eggs because I'm like, don't cut off their beaks and put them in ridiculous cages. That's absurd. So that's what we usually buy, and all the supermarket had left were the sad, in the bad for the environment styrofoam
sad
packaging.
Chicken eggs in the styrofoam box.
Sad chicken eggs, and we were like, okay,
well, sorry,
well,
we gotta eat.
We'll get a dozen of those, but we just did get one of them. Oh yeah,
Angie says, I've been hoarding TP for years. Well stocked here.
We were smart.
That's
lady.
the way to do it.
That's right.
Stay ahead of the curve.
Yeah. Well, she's in East Texas. She's gonna be fun. You're gonna be fun. Yeah. No.
Well, hopefully we'll all be fine. It's just the process of getting to fine that's causing us all
for sure.
Like this valley of the shadow we have to go through right now, where we're all stressed out, and half of us are out of work, and the ones who are not out of work are either stuck in our living rooms or having to go into places that really shouldn't still be open.
Yeah, and I want to say, I'm not doxing Miss Angie there. She says she lives in East Texas on her own streams. I don't know where in, and I wouldn't say if I did, just so you know. Not
somewhere in the eastern half of a state half the size of
the
Union.
State of a state bigger than like England. She lives there.
So anyway, you can tell we thought this through real well rolling into it.
Oh yeah, we totally had notes.
We had a loosely defined topic, and that was essentially it.
Yes, that was it. Sorry. I was shaking my head no while you were talking, and then I was like, oh no, he's actually telling the truth. We had a loosely defined topic.
We wanted to talk about ourselves being introverts, and quarantine being what we're not quite technically in, but it had a better ring to it to put in the title of the stream. Quarantine for Introverts, Self-Isolation for Introverts. Just didn't really roll off the tongue the same way.
Not as well.
So,
but here's the thing.
Sue me for false marketing. What are you going to do?
It's not false marketing. Here's the thing, though. We're rather enjoying it, as weird as that is, because we get all of our like social primate needs mostly met by each other. I mean, it was weird not to hug my brother yesterday, but he and I we elbow bumped and shit, and then he left, and it was fine.
Let's face it, most of our social engagement is online.
It is.
It's with you people.
Most of it is with you guys. You guys are the people we see the most, and we love you. So I do want to ask, how is everybody coping? How's it going with you? If you are an extrovert,
we're calling out the chat. Talk to us, baby. Talk to us.
How are you? How are you going? How are you, as our Australian friends would say, how are you keeping? What's happening?
Angie, I saw your video about things to do when quarantined. The Ask Granny about things to do in quarantine the other day. That was great.
Oh, I missed that. Okay. Again, magic of YouTube. I can go back and watch it.
Yeah, and the notifications have been even more fucked up than usual lately. I think it's just the sheer amount of content everybody's putting out.
Sheer amount. I mean, my phone is constantly going off, and
notifications function just can't keep up with it. I've been in 6 streams just today, and I know that there's 2 that I missed.
Yeah, I do want to say that while I do not have as near as big a platform as these guys do, but I do love them, so I'm gonna plug it anyway.
Hey,
plug it anyway.
Plug your friends, plug your fandoms.
I am. I'm gonna say this: the Scathing Atheist guys, the guys who do Scathing Atheists, God Awful Movies, and who do the Half Sister, because it's also partially cognitive dissonance. They also do Citation Needed.
Oh, yeah.
Those guys they're doing a lot this week. They're doing Saturday nights, hashtag stay the fuck inside. And so they're going to be doing 2-hour streams.
Angie's got kids at home.
Oh,
aren't you glad we're not dealing with that?
Yes,
the
sir,
extended
I am.
spring break nightmare that all of the parents are dealing with.
Oh, Angie, I love you. You are doing, I would say you're doing God, the Lord's work, except the Lord doesn't exist.
You're
so.
Southern enough. You know what we mean when
You
we
know
say
what I
you're
mean.
doing the Lord's work.
And also, Angie, you're a fucking goddess, and I love you. And Angie, there you go. Angie, this lady, not only is she an amazing singer and an amazing human being. I don't even know what you just said that you're laughing at. But I'm not. Let me finish complimenting her first.
Finish.
But she is taking care of 2 beautiful grandchildren. And she is taking such good care of them. And I admire you so much. And I hope, like, I want to grow up and be you. That's my goal. So I'm 42 years old. But when I finally fucking grow up, I want to be like you. Angie Dell. All right, what she said it was funny.
I wasn't. Dang it! I'm gonna set everything on
Do
fire.
not set the house. You're not allowed to set the couch on fire.
Like that's all we fucking need, right?
Yeah, seriously, we can't afford another one right now. We just went to Scotland.
Yeah. No, sorry. What cracked me up was Mr. Shadow Kitty here.
Mr. Shadow Kitty. Oh. I have nothing to do but watch porn and practice my instruments. I'll get around to practicing some. Actually, that's a fair point. Yes. Mr.
Sorry, that was
that's fine.
I can't get it to disengage for some
That's
reason.
all right. You do your thing. But no, what Mr. Shadow Kitty is talking about is like, honestly, guys, pay for your porn if you can, because Pornhub is so free. You know, pay the people who make you come. That's lovely. But also, like, I want to say, like, honestly, there are worse things than being trapped on your lonesome. You know, there's a lot of personal, how shall I put this?
Time.
Self-care and time.
Self-care, yes.
That one can take. And it's fine. Like I said,
we forgot to do the disclaimer about this not being for children.
This is not for children.
I'm gonna have to go in and switch this to age restricted once I get done with it.
No, if you're under 18, get the fuck out.
Seriously.
That should have get the fuck out if you're under 18. You have no business here. But yeah, you know, dude, if you're an adult making adult decisions.
Christian Chris is reprimanding us again.
Christian Chris? Not Stuttering Chris. Stuttering Chris isn't a Christian. Hey, no porn?
No porn.
Are you anti-porn, Stuttering Chris? It's okay if you are, man.
Chris is anti-fun. He keeps getting on Twitter recently.
Chris is not anti-fun.
He is. He keeps getting on Twitter and reprimanding us for all the fun that we're having and telling us how sad we'll make Jesus.
He does not.
He does too.
You must be kidding.
I am not.
This is not the Stuttering Chris that I know.
It is too.
I don't believe you. I'll have to see it for myself. I love you.
Mero told you to put a sarcasm tag at the end of those posts, but you didn't listen. No, no, no.
I'm a skeptic, and I love Stuttering Chris, and he is amazing, and he gave me the Kermit the Frog doing the happy dance thing when I said, I'm sorry, I haven't done a video in a while. I will put one up next week. So, you know, he has my loyalty for life, essentially, at this point. But no, Chris, you're freaking awesome, man. And I don't believe at all that you're doing any of that. No, I don't.
Angie says it's true. She's seen it.
Angie, is it really?
It is. I told you. I wouldn't lie to you.
You're
not here on live TV.
Yeah, but you're using a sarcastic voice. And I'm the youngest of 4, so I automatically assume everyone is fucking with me. Are you fucking with me?
No.
Oh, you so are.
No, I am not fucking with you.
You looked away. You looked away.
I am not
Your
fucking
eyes
with you.
went over there.
Chris is fucking with us.
Chris! Are you fucking with me, Chris? Tell me.
Mero told you about that sarcasm tag, brother.
You have to tell me.
Now you got me in trouble.
That's right. He might not get laid because of your shenanigans, so you need to let me know right now. No lie, says Angie. Holy shit. I'm an atheistic Christian. Jesus Christ. Chris, what does that even mean? I know, I get the heritage bit. I get that. Like, I call myself a recovering Catholic for a long time, brother. And I know you're likely a recovering Catholic or an ex-Catholic too, but that can't be it. Come on, baby doll.
He's messing with us,
He
sweetheart.
has to be. He's like 20 years younger than I am.
He's messing
He's
with us.
way
sweetheart.
more plugged into all this shit than I am. Okay. Chris, you have to give me...
You gotta check Twitter more often, baby.
Well, I do, but you... Chris, you gotta give me some slack here, man. I'm like 42, and I've only been an atheist since about 4 days after my 40th birthday. So, you know, I mean, I tried once when I was 33, but I was also in a very bad place. No, I'm sorry. Please get Junk Shop late. I'm freaking with you. Okay. All right. Thank you, Chris.
That was a fun bit. I'm going to clip that whole exchange out. I'm going to clip that whole exchange out and put it up. No context.
Really?
No context after dark.
You are. Okay.
Are you kidding? I don't know how to fucking do that.
Oh, my God. I really thought you did. It's so easy. Okay, Chris.
So this is how we deal with quarantining. We get online and we fuck with our friends.
It is. And also, Chris, you know I love you no matter what, man. I love you.
Yeah, Angie points out that she knew he was joking, but he is quite good at it.
He really is. Well done, sir. Well done. Cheers to Chris and Angie and Dave.
And Dave.
Who are watching this right now. Yes. Is there anyone else? There's someone else. Amiga Nuts! Thank you, Amiga Nuts, for watching. Thank you. Thank you. We will drink to that.
My most interactive fan.
Man, dude.
I knew I can count on you, man.
Like, you're awesome, and thank you, and all of you are amazing human beings, and thank you so much. So tell us, like, what do you want to know? How are you feeling? Is everybody okay?
You doing anything differently?
Yeah.
Well,
like I'm playing
in this self-isolating time.
I'm playing Dungeons and Dragons online for the first time in my life, via Roll20. So Roll20.net is a great way to connect with your friends and not actually be in the same room with them, so you're not risking anyone's health.
So everybody's not breathing on everybody else's dice.
God, these are weird days we're living in, guys. Yeah, no, and on anyone's dice or anything else for sure. Hang on, I have to shift. There we go. Man. Oh, I was like showing off my tattoos and stuff, and you guys couldn't even see them before. Tattoos. No, it's just I was neo-pagan for a long time, so I've got a lot of pagan-y tattoos that are cool. There you go. Oh, and by the way, some asshole Christian guy on Twitter was like,
oh dear.
And by the way, all of my family are Christians, so I am not one of those, you know, angry atheists who's like, oh, Christians are evil. You know, no. And also,
no, that's me.
I don't really think those people really exist. But anyway, point is, this guy was like, you know, good Christian men don't want women with tattoos. And I was like, you shouldn't have said that. And I just took pictures of all of mine, like with no other context. I just sent him pictures of all of mine. This is the horned one from Celtic mythology. I bet he loved that because that's where they get the devil and shit. Yeah, and I have more, but I'm not going to show those on camera. Sorry, they're in certain places. I'll just let y'all imagine that. Okay, so what are we getting? I know, lots of laughy faces, but what else? Come on. Angie, how you doing? You still doing your karaoke? Is that still on? Or have you had to slow back? Have you had to cut back on the karaoke?
Can't imagine karaoke bars are doing a booming business in these viral days.
Well, I'm thinking that I'm really worried about. We have a little
neighborhood pub.
Neighborhood pub, yeah, right up here. It's called
maybe not dox ourselves to that extent.
Okay, I don't want to do that, but I wanted to give them the business, but fair.
They're closed.
They're closed.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know. They're closed. And they're closed for good reason, because the couple that owns it, they have not only a new baby who is under at least 2 years, if not a year old. There's a little baby.
With a small child.
Baby. So precious. So freaking precious. And the woman of the couple in question, her elderly father works there as well. So I imagine she's wanting to keep him safe. Yeah. Too. I was actually just thinking about that today.
As we all should.
Yes, as we all should.
I'm gonna keep coming back and banging on this dead horse.
You know what?
If you've got
I'm
elderly
about to
folks,
say one more thing.
immunocompromised folks in your family, in your circle of friends, in your people who check you out at the Kroger, stay the fuck away from them.
Stay away.
You may not be symptomatic. You may not ever be symptomatic.
You might not know.
But you might have it right now.
That's
that kid who died recently.
Yeah.
You know, the one who had leukemia and they didn't know it. That was his underlying condition and he ended up dying. Stay clear of as many people
as you can. Yeah, do this. Like, guys.
The more you know.
The more you know. No, seriously, the more you know. Seriously, no, it's easier for us because we are introverts. And,
yeah, Mr. Shadow Kitty says,
please keep up with the chat.
Says, I don't want to share a microphone currently.
No, I understand. I get it. It's like
that.
Like I said, we're getting all of our, primate needs from each other because we share all the same germs anyway. But beyond
and we're getting all of our social interaction right here.
Right here with you guys because you're amazing. But I want to say about the local pub where that's a family-owned business that we support. And we actually know the owners, and we know three freaking generations of their family, which is so amazing.
Yeah, and hopefully everybody's got one of those.
But I want to tell you a little story, and I'm not going to name any names. I'm not going to name names. I shouldn't say that because it's too. Oh, okay, all right. No, it's fair. Okay, well, I can't tell you that because it's too personal. But I do want to say that, like, we all have people in our community who we know who are exceptional human beings, who might be over a certain age or under a certain age, who have underlying health conditions, and we want to look out for those people. Because those people are amazing. And also they're just human beings, just like we are. So we should be looking out for them anyway, but yeah. All right. Yeah, you're right. That is really easily identifiable. Yeah. All right. Yep. Not all heroes wear capes. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, I'm done. Okay, sorry. Okay, your turn.
Angie says, psst. Psst. And I don't know what.
What? Oh, she said psst.
No, she literally said psst.
Right on, Mr. Oh, she did, and nothing else. This is how bad my eyes are. I have to get this close and you can only see half my face. It's so fucked up. You can only see half my face. Hello. Hello. Y'all want to see what my prescription is? Check this shit out. Oh, look how big my eyes are. And look how small they are when I put my glasses back on. Yeah, that's how my outback I am. Okay. Angie, keep whispering. I know you're whispering. What are you whispering?
Oh, there may be lag.
Oh, there may be lag.
Is there that much lag that they're just now
seeing
me whispering in your ear?
Yeah, probably.
I bet that's what's going on.
That's probably what's happening.
Well, that's all right. It'll roll around to you here in a second.
Yeah, it will. That's totally fair.
The magic of YouTube and of a $20 webcam.
Yeah, he was stopping me from telling a story that's not mine to tell and that also could have doxed someone, and I do not want to do that. That is not my intention ever. So I do want to say there are a lot of places, including our city, where you can go on various websites. I just found this out today, by the way. And you can actually, not only can you order food from restaurants and they'll deliver it, even if they aren't taking customers right now, you can also go in and just, if there's a restaurant you go to on a regular basis, like say, like you have your Sunday dinner there or whatever, or you do your weekly, like your Saturday night thing, that's where you go. You can, there's some websites set up where you can virtually tip those people in real money. And yes. This
Patreon for restaurants.
Yes. And
that's amazing.
It is. And
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Well, I meant to tell you earlier. I'm sorry. But if it's a thing in Memphis, you know it's a thing in other places. So
that's true.
So for the service industry people who we were for so many years of our lives, and only aren't now because of circumstance and, just luck. Honestly, if you can go in and do that, please do. I would also urge everyone, if there are any Chinese or Asian fusion or anything like that restaurants in your area, please support them.
Thai,
Vietnamese,
it doesn't
because
matter.
Trump can't
Especially
tell
if you're
the
in the South.
fucking difference, and he's being so racist about this shit. You've all seen the meme. Hopefully by now you've all seen it, where he crossed out Corona and wrote in Chinese in fucking Sharpie.
And that's not a meme either. That's
It's
just
not a
a
meme.
still from news footage.
Thank you, sir. No,
Somebody got a shot over the shoulder.
You're right. It is not a meme. It's actual news footage. And the fact is
he's an idiot.
He's an idiot
and a bad person.
And he's trying to make this a racial thing when it's not. A Chinese, an American of Chinese heritage, I should say, said on Twitter today, okay, you want to call it the Chinese virus? We're going to start calling it the white mass shooting. And that's fair. That is freaking fair, because it is mostly, love you so much, white men, men of European descent who commit mass shootings. That's generally in the U.S. That's generally what it is. So, you know, it's like, we don't need to get racist about this shit. Viruses do not have nationalities.
Filter snatch strikes again.
Oh, Angie, I love you so much. Yeah, no, it's absolutely true.
And Amiga Nuts is doing his part. Got his I can't talk.
Yeah. He's got his
Chinese food delivery yesterday.
Woo! Yeah.
That's how we do it. There's a great little place just right down the street from us, and whenever we can, we order from them.
Actually, we can plug them without doxing ourselves, because they have like 4 different locations all over the county.
Oh, that's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, if you are in the Memphis area.
The Memphis metropolitan area?
Memphis metropolitan area, order from Wang's.
Wang's Mandarin House.
Wang's Mandarin House is a family-owned Chinese restaurant, and it's amazing. It's real Chinese food, because the lady who runs it, the matriarch of that family, is a Chinese immigrant. She's been here forever, but she's a Chinese immigrant. I've met her. She's lovely. She is an amazing human being. Yeah. And even if she wasn't, I don't give a fuck. Their food is really good.
Yeah.
So, like, she could be the meanest person in the world, and I'd be like, that's okay. Your food is amazing. I don't care. But yeah, so Wang's Mandarin House, order from them. They will deliver. They're awesome.
Sorry,
folks.
real
I'll
quick.
Stop there.
Tangential to that.
Fair.
And I know everybody in the chat right now, I know, is already doing this because you're good people.
Yeah.
But anybody watching this in the future,
theory you gave.
Tip your delivery drivers.
Tip your delivery drivers.
You should be tipping your servers and delivery drivers anyway.
Yes, you should.
But in this moment, they are literally putting their lives on the line.
They are.
Not quite as much as emergency room personnel or doctors, but they're still going up to strange motherfuckers' houses and getting breathed on for probably minimum wage plus tips.
Minimum
make
wage.
That plus tips count.
Please do. Like, honestly, if you are, and I don't mean to be cruel to
because otherwise when we rise we'll eat you.
Well, anyway, I don't. I was thinking you'll eat me because
and your
I
hairdresser.
Oh my God!
Angie points out, and your hairdresser. Yeah.
And your hairdresser.
Personnel.
Absolutely. Thank you, Angie. Yes, ma'am.
If they're helping your ass out, you fucking tip them.
You tip them.
It's the old adage, if you can't afford to tip, you can't afford to eat out.
Exactly.
And that goes for hairdressing, that goes for eating, that goes for dog grooming, that goes for every damn thing.
And we've always done that. Like, if we can't afford at least a 20% tip, sorry, a little drunk, a 20% tip, we don't go out. That's our rule.
Yeah.
Like, we're like, okay, we know we're going to spend this much on drinks. We know we're going to want food, blah, blah. And then we do the math. And I was an English teacher for 15 years. So if I can do the math, you can fucking do the math. Okay? So if you can't tip at least 20%, don't do it. Don't order. But also, Also, right now, don't go out, but definitely like order in if anybody's delivering, because it will help these folks survive. Because right now, their places are getting shut down. If they don't have a drive-through, if they don't have delivery options or pickup options, they're having a really hard time. And this is a lot of people, y'all. This is a lot of folks who make their living off of the service industry, and they're having a really hard time. More than most of us. Sorry.
Oh, it's Godless Granny.
Hey,
Hello.
Godless Granny.
Welcome. I saw your...
I did
try to stay in frame.
do it. I did too.
Your video today. It was fantastic.
Oh, I did not. I'm
Thanks
sorry.
so much. Oh, yeah.
I saw the notification, but
yeah,
I was working.
You were at work. Yeah.
I was at work,
but no,
2 feet that way.
Take Lori Alexander to task anytime.
Do it.
She fucking deserves it.
Do it, please.
Oh, Godless Granny has to go. She has an emergency.
I'm so sorry.
Well, I hope everything is well.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, love.
Emergency.
Hang on. Ooh, okay, heart,
do we do?
hands.
We can get them both in frame? Yes.
Yeah, love you, sorry. Oh, no. You don't have an emergency. My Aunt Janet is going to call me at 9 p.m. So
we won't be on that long.
Okay.
We're probably. I'm thinking we'll wrap around the top of the hour because we'll have been going a solid hour. That tends to be about the amount of time anybody wants to watch a live stream after.
Sure, and I also want to apologize that I keep hiccuping. I'm not sure what that's about. I don't know.
Okay, I want to know.
What do you want?
Sorry, I got to scroll back in the chat a little. Doodly-doodly-doo. Oh, and first of all, Chris, I saw that go by. But no, Bruce Lee is not a bad guy now.
Is Bruce Lee? I don't even know.
No.
I can't.
What I want to know is...
What do you want to know?
No.
Why? I can't stop hiccuping.
No, it's not that.
Gosh.
Mr. Shadow Kitty says he's gotten strange things in his tip jar, and I want to know...
what those are. Is it little bags of cocaine? Because if so, you're working at a bad place.
Name a strange thing.
Ooh, I got, I can name a strange thing I got in a tip jar.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I got tuppence. I live in the United States of America. Excuse me. Sorry, guys, for the hiccuping.
It's real life. It happens.
It is. And I got British tuppence in the tip jar, which
that's great.
Luckily, there were only a couple. There were like 2 of us who were like hardcore Anglophiles, and we actually got it more than once. So we just split them, and we were like,
I was about to say, did you rock paper scissors for it?
Seriously, me, like myself, and a young lady who I will not name because I don't have her permission. Although I could, because her first name is pretty
not important,
but it's something. Well, she is important as a person, but anyway, she and I, like, once we had a collection of British money, we split it up when it was clear that no one else wanted it. We split it up between ourselves, and that was awesome. But it was also a little annoying because it was like, guys, like I actually need those tips, like, because when we worked for tips, like that was my laundry money and sometimes my grocery money.
Yeah, it says foreign currency and prayer scrolls.
Oh, chick tracts! I've gotten so many chick tracts. You don't even know, dude. I should have.
That's fucked up.
I should have kept them. I should have kept them all. But what I would do is I'd bring them home, show them to this beautiful guy, and we'd have a laugh, and then I'd throw them away.
And then we'd just throw that shit out.
Yeah,
this was before we got involved on YouTube. It never occurred to us we'd be getting material out of it.
We didn't know we were going to be like activists and shit. We should have foreseen.
I got to tease a little bit of forthcoming content.
Oh yeah, you got some chick tract.
Oh, better.
Content? Oh, what? Better. What's better than that?
Well, back in my youth group church school days,
I remember those from me.
I was
For me, rather.
Well, I don't want to say I, like it was specifically targeted at me, but we were all given by some visiting speaker a $1 million bill for salvation, Mr. Shadow Kitty. Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Shadow Kitty.
The
I'm
only
so
thing I
sorry.
hate more than the $1 million bill is the $20 bill. That looks like half a $20 bill, and then you fold it over, and it's got like, what you need more than this $20 that this could have been is Jesus.
And you're like,
fuck you.
No, I need groceries. That's what I need, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Sorry. Hiccuping.
But back in the day, I was given a particular little piece of church propaganda that I found I still have.
Oh, no.
And it is horrendous and vile.
Yeah. And you're going to be doing a thing, I take it.
I'm going to be doing a thing. Especially in light of what that nincompoop, whose name I will not repeat,
does he happen to be in the White House right now?
No.
Or on a golf course?
No.
Oh.
No, this is... I'll tell you the story later.
Okay, sorry. He's teasing. He's teasing you. Enjoy it.
Anybody who's been following
good at it.
my Twitter feed the last couple of days, first of all, I'm so sorry, and I hope you didn't have your notifications on, because I have been a busy little man.
Oh my gosh, why can't I stop? This is horrible.
It's okay.
So self-conscious. Okay, go ahead.
But there was an incident that occurred online last night where a certain individual said a horrible thing, and it pushed all of my hate speech buttons, and so I finally decided I'm going to break out this piece of church propaganda that I was given, these many moons ago, and just go through and fucking eviscerate it from a modern atheist, humanist, secularist standpoint.
That just makes me happy.
So here's the teaser. The title of the tract I will be eviscerating and ranting about is Homosexuality and the Bible.
Ugh, Leviticus. Yes, eviscerate it. Because if you don't know,
and then I may or may not set fire to it once I'm done. I hadn't decided.
No, do it on camera over a trash can.
Oh, well, cool. Yes, over a trash can.
Preferably outside if you can.
A metal trash can, yeah.
Well, preferably just just right outside the back door if you can, just so it doesn't set off the smoke alarms. But yeah, fair enough.
Of course.
It's no, it's so horrible. It's like, why? I honestly want to know if anybody knows. I don't know if it was because I was born in 78. I don't know if it's because I was bisexual. Or I'm pansexual. I identified in the 90s as bisexual because we didn't have the term pansexual back then. But even before then, like, I remember having a crush on my best friend, my best male friend, Jason, and my best female friend, Melanie, at the same time. And I remember praying desperately to God that please let me like boys, let me like boys, let me like boys. And I would chant that in my head constantly. And you know what? That doesn't work. It doesn't help. It's pointless. You have to accept yourself and love yourself for who you are. But at the same time, it was so horrific that whenever I hear about this stuff, my back automatically goes up because I'm like, no, who is fucking with my people? And I know that, you know, Junk Shop and I, we look like this, you know, heteronormative couple or whatever, but we are and we aren't. Like, you know, we're both genderqueer. Everybody's on the spectrum. We understand these things better now than we ever have before. And sexuality is not one thing or another. And I will say this, you know, my parental units, that they've come a long way. in their feelings about gay people, but they're still really religious and really conservative, and that's why I never brought a girlfriend home. You know, that they've never met any of my girlfriends. Well, except one, and they didn't know because it was high school. They didn't know she was my girlfriend. She was just a friend who could spend the night because she was a girl. Anyway, so yeah. So the point is, like, you know, that they love this guy. They love this son-in-law, and they absolutely should, because he totally deserves it, and he is amazing. And well, and you know, I'm the way I am, and I'm very, you know, once I'm with somebody, I'm with somebody. I'm very monogamous. That's just how I'm wired. I'm not judging anyone else or suggesting that anyone else should be that way. It's just how I particularly am. But I will say that I am absolutely attracted. I mean, today I was looking at at some photos of, I'm not going to name any names, but of a trans friend, a woman online, and I was like, oh my God, I'm fucking drooling over these photos. Like, she is so gorgeous. And you know, I made sure to not in a sexually harassing way, but in a nice way, you know, let her know that I absolutely thought she was beautiful and looked amazing, and all of that stuff. But you know, but it's a tricky thing, and I feel like I'm repeating myself now. So
okay. Yeah, no, I think we get the...
Okay, so you get the gist. Okay, fair.
So, how do we cope with quarantine as introverts? We bottle everything up forever, and then we release it gently into a safe space.
Like this one.
Welcome, everyone, to what we have decided is a safe
Apparently so. That's how it works. No, because
we're all friends. We love you all, and thank you so much for coming.
Oh no, we're not stopping yet.
No, we're not stopping yet. I'm just saying we'll be
no, I have a thing
terribly long because we're gonna lose our connection.
Well, we will, but I want to just say, look,
of course,
I was raised.
I'm not trying to cut you off.
I know. I was raised French, Scotch, Irish, Catholic, and if you know anything about those people, it's like, no, bottle everything up and only let it out when drunk and in incredibly inappropriate circumstances. And the one thing I learned, one of the many things, not the one thing, but one of many things I learned from 2.5 years of cognitive behavioral therapy is that's not a good way to exist. So if you are feeling like you're not heard, if you're feeling bottled up right now, if you feel like you're not connecting with other people, you know, let us know, let someone else you know online know. Actually, use your phone to call someone. That I realize.
Oh, you barbarian! Phones don't call people.
Know. But look, here's the thing. I called.
Hey, Nerdy. Hello.
Hey, Nerdy. Oh my God, Nerdy Redden. Oh, I love you. Hey, man. So good to see you. I say man. I don't know what your preferred pronoun is, but you're awesome. Anyway, whatever it is. But I called my aunt. I called both my aunts last night, and I had the most lovely conversations, and conversation, because my Aunt Janet was out gallivanting, and my Aunt Linda was at home, so I got to talk to my Aunt Linda. But anyway, the point is that you know, check on other folks. You know, you might not know. You might end up in a 4-hour phone conversation that you really enjoy, and that's really enlightening and lovely for you. And I got to tell my mom's sister stuff that frankly I will never tell my mother, and neither will her sister. So that's the beauty of that.
That does bring up an interesting point, actually.
It does.
That we can, because we live in this weird new frontier of technology. This where we're still in the wild west of YouTube, and we've got God only knows what Discord is and every other damn thing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Where just because, you know, in the old days, self-isolation and or quarantine meant, you know, people you knew could die and you wouldn't find out for 3 months.
Yeah.
Now, if 3 hours go by and you haven't heard from Bob John, you start wondering if he's okay or if he's got that corona.
Yeah.
Fair. So check in with your loved ones.
Yeah, do it.
Don't go near them, especially if they're elderly or immunocompromised.
Yes, do not see them in person.
But check in with them.
But
we got
call
Skype,
them.
we got YouTube, we've got telephones and text messages and FaceTime and MySpace and every other damn thing.
That's right. Well, not MySpace really anymore, but still.
It's still a thing.
Is it?
It is, kind of. A little bit.
Oh, I think I'm wrong. Anyway, I don't know. We'll have to check.
Justin Timberlake bought it. It's got to be worth something.
All right, I know he's from our town and he wears cute hats, but I think he's wrong on that one. But anyway, we'll find out. And point is that no, check in with everybody, especially the older folks. You know, give them an actual call on their smartphones because they all have them now.
They may not know how to work them. But
they might not.
They'll pick up eventually.
They will. Eventually, if it rings enough, they'll pick up. But you know, check in. You don't have to endanger their health to make sure they're okay. And I think that's an important point to get across. Is like, you know, my mom and my mom's sisters, you know, they're all older ladies and they're amazing and they know so much and they're brilliant and they're hilarious and all of that good stuff. But you know, we gotta look out for them. You know, make sure and especially, you know, I would say I started to qualify this with even if, but I'm going to go with especially. Especially if you live in a different state or a different city than your older relatives, go ahead and give them a call. Just to satisfy your peace of mind, if not everyone else's. You know? If nothing else, it will make you feel better and you'll have a nice chat. And there's nothing wrong with having a nice chat, yeah?
Indeed.
Yeah, indeed. Your mom liked a Twitter post I made today. Weirded me out.
All right.
Yeah, there we go. So there's that. Yeah. I just found out my mother-in-law's on Twitter. It's kind of fascinating. And she follows me.
Everyone is everywhere. What can you do?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Sorry, I've got notifications blowing up my screen.
You're fine.
Obscuring the chat.
And well, they're obscuring the chat, but they're making a noise. Oh, godless granny, you're lovely with the emoji. Wait, what's happening with the emojis? I can't even tell. Oh, they're smiling. They're all happy. Okay. Yay. I'm sorry. One of them for a second, I was like, is that a crying one? I was sad, but it's not. Yay.
We don't have great screen resolution on our...
No. On our Wii laptop. No. And we can't use my giant company computer that I'm using for a home office for this. Yeah, because
that's all any Southern boss wants is to find out through some IT wizardry that your crazy husband been using it for atheist activist content on the YouTubes.
Or your crazy employee that you can fire. Hello, right here. Yeah, not good. No. Not a thing, so... We're trying to be stand-up citizens about this, and hopefully at some point
staying our asses inside.
Yeah, staying our asses inside. We'll have
while still standing up for others. And,
yeah,
you know, it's a hard line to walk. It really is.
It can be. Yeah, for sure. All right. Any final thoughts? Any final questions from the chat?
Final thoughts, you guys questions, allegations, disputations.
Yeah. I announced
remuneration.
I announced on Twitter.
I gotta plug it real fast.
Do it.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm cool with time. I announced on Twitter about a month ago that I realized because of Andy Fellows, and if you don't follow him, he's amazing. It's Andy the Fellow. It's ANDEY THEFELLOWES, and he is awesome. He has an amazing YouTube channel. He is a survivor of being in a New Age cult, and he came out of that, and now he debunks cults. So he's freaking awesome. Check him out, Andy the Fellows. He's also on Twitter as Andy the Fellows. Okay, so check him out, and that's with 2 E's there in the places you wouldn't normally put them. and he's awesome. But he used a term. He said one time, just randomly on a video, he said, I'm genderqueer, and so is my wife, Rosa. And I was like, what does that mean? Genderqueer. I like that. What does that mean? And so I looked it up in the dictionary, and it simply means someone who does not conform to traditional gender identities. And I was like, I'm 42 years old, and I've been calling myself a fucking tomboy my entire life. And now I suddenly realize, no, I'm just genderqueer. I like my hair long. I don't always like to wear makeup. I pretty much hate high heels unless I'm, wearing them for specific effect. And I usually prefer pants to skirts, right? I like to climb trees. It's a thing. It's kind of like if you've ever watched Eddie Izzard, it's like running, jumping, climbing trees, not putting on makeup when you're up there. That's how I was, and which is the difference if you've heard it, Eddie Izzard. But yeah, so I realized, oh my gosh, this applies to me. This is me, and I put it on Twitter, and some guy came back, a guy that I didn't know, and he came back with and I said, hey, I realized that I'm genderqueer, and this is so cool, and blah blah blah. And he came back with like, really? Like, how's this? You're married to a dude. How's the sex life? And I was like, well, none of your fucking business. But I didn't even go there. I didn't respond or anything. But I do want to say that A, none of your fucking business, and B, really fucking awesome, and that's all I will ever say about that. However, the point is that, again, what we're learning about human psychology right now that is so exciting is that we're all on a spectrum. And if you want to be glammed up and super feminine, or you want to be super masculine, or you want to be anything in between, it's all good. It's all fine. It doesn't mean you aren't something or you are something else. The way you present, may or may not necessarily define you. There's a lot of that that went around when I was a young person. Like, when I was 19 and had a girlfriend, I had to ask myself, like, am I a lesbian? And I was like, well, I'm still attracted to dudes, so I don't think I'm a lesbian. It was very confusing. So just getting this term like genderqueer was really just a kind of a saving grace for me. And I'm not saying it's going to be that easy for everyone. I'm not saying that, but it's like the more we know, it's never a bad thing to know more. I don't think. There are people who would argue differently. I do not agree. I think if you have a good critical thinking mind and you're reasonably intelligent, you can figure this shit out. Is that fair to say? I know.
Well, and it's good, and it can be very freeing to discover that there is a term for something.
Yeah.
I mean, to make a long, strange loop back around, I couldn't, when we first started using the term social isolating.
Yeah.
It made perfect sense to me because I understood what everybody was trying to say about, like, stay away from the at-risk people, keep yourself to yourself in order to not contract anything and spread anything to the at-risk people.
Mm-hmm.
But I just didn't really have a term for it. And then all of a sudden, social isolating became the term we were using.
Exactly.
Which doesn't have some of the heavy, top-down, bureaucratic connotations of quarantine.
Yes.
And self-quarantine, it just it sounds a little hypochondriac.
It can, but it doesn't sound as bad as like an imposed quarantine.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying in a different way.
But
it didn't really work for what we were doing.
No, you're right.
Among other things, because we were not, those of us who are doing what we now call self-isolating, We're not doing it because we were contagious.
Right.
We were doing it proactively in order not to become carriers.
Yeah, I didn't want to get my parents sick. That was my
And so now that we
motivator.
have a term for it, it
Mm.
feels better and it feels more okay.
Yeah.
To tie a very loose end back around to what you were saying about genderqueer.
No, that is absolutely fair.
Once you have a term for it,
when you
like
name
once
it, you
it's
can claim it.
once it's been acknowledged, yeah, well, that's much better than the long rambling thing I was about to do.
Sorry, I didn't mean. I'm sorry, sweetheart. I didn't
No,
mean to cut you
no,
off.
seriously, that was
well,
much better than the 3-sentence Churchillian paragraph I was about to try to unspool freeform.
I fucking love Churchill, but no, I love, but no, it's fair. It's like when you have a term for something.
Our terms now.
That's right.
Oh,
yes.
Introverts, I assume.
Yes, Mr. Shadow Kitty, exactly. No, but no, it's fair though. Like once you claim a term, you can go, okay, I understand this. And listen, I've had I had a therapist tell me.
Godless Granny says it's hard for my generation to understand that. Which
that's fair.
I assume
no, that is completely fair.
Yeah, as terminology changes, it's hard to keep up.
It's hard for me
to keep up.
It's hard for me.
And I grew up with certain aspects of this that the previous generation certainly did not.
Godless Granny. Let me tell you a quick story. I'm not gonna name any names. Quick story. I had years ago, more than a decade ago, a student who I met as who had a female name and who identified at the time as female, and who I knew for a semester and then later on because she kept in touch. She was one of those great students who would occasionally like email me and ask for advice or something, and it was so lovely, and I felt so touched and everything. But that I would, and now eventually she discovered that she was non-binary, and now I'm friends with them. And I am constantly fucking up that pronoun. I am constantly trying to say she instead of they or them. Right? And the funny thing is, if you don't know this about the English language, you should. Everyone should. They has been a singular pronoun for indeterminate gender in the English language since as early as the 1400s, okay? And I was a professor of this shit for 15 years. I know of what I speak. So, given that, and if you don't believe me, I can recite a poem in Middle English right now. I'm not going to do it, unless y'all, like, really want me to, but I'm not going to do it, because it's like that, and $7 will buy you a latte, but it's still, the thing is that I know what I'm talking about. So now that this person has re-entered my life, I have to concentrate on calling them by either their given name, which is still feminine to my ears, but I can't say, or what would be hurtful to say. And honestly, this person is so patient with me. I mean, they completely understand that I met them when they identified differently and didn't really know what the deal was with themselves. And so, this person has been so patient. But like for me to say, it's been hard. Like sometimes I slip up and I say her or she when I should say they or them. And I just base, we're all learning together. That's the important thing. And the world is always changing, and culture is always changing. And honestly, what this person said to me that was so encouraging was, I just like that you make the effort, because I can't even get my mother to make the effort. That was huge to me. Like that, I mean, it gives me chills right now Like I have goosebumps right now just restating that. But it's horrifying to me that this beautiful, amazing young human being feels like they can't be themselves around their parents because their parents won't use a different fucking pronoun. Like, is it so hard? You know? What did Angie say? Oh, thank you, Angie. I love you too. Big virtual hugs from Tennessee to Texas. I love you. Yeah, so anyway, I just want to point that out. That, like, you know, we're all learning together, and we're all gonna fuck up. It's okay. The trick is going, oh, sorry, I fucked up, and then the person goes, it's cool. That's the trick. I swear. It's like, it's almost like the Christian thing we all used to have to do with asking for forgiveness, except not as awkward and not as twisted. Is like, you know, just saying, hey, I realize I just said the wrong thing. I'm going to try to say the right thing. Honestly, if you just try, I mean, people give you so much if you just try. It's amazing.
And that's all any of us can do in the
end,
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is try.
Yes, sir, absolutely.
I mean, not to boil it too far down into too much of a nutshell, but
no, but it's
life,
fair,
isn't it?
No, it's fair.
Is try.
Yeah, just try to be open. You know, try to
be
respectful,
good, and then try to be better.
Let's be good. For goodness sake. Oh. Sorry. I apologize for singing on YouTube. I will regret that mightily later. Angie, I apologize to your ears because I had scarlet fever as a child and I was probably off key just then. Anyway, but no, yeah, I mean, people will give you a lot of credit for just trying. And they'll understand when you fuck up and they'll tell you. And if you take it with an open mind and they're kind with their, hey, no, that's really not cool. Which, by the way, in my experience, by and large, anyone who is non-binary absolutely will be very cool about it. Like, they're like, just, hey, can you not say I'm his lady? That's fucked up. You know that yes, I can do that. I apologize. Yes, I can do that. You know, that's fine. They, you know, automatically it just, yeah, it's like saying yes sir or no ma'am on some level. It's that kind of just polite thing. It's why, like, even as an atheist living in the South, I say bless you when people sneeze. I don't believe that any gods or goddesses are blessing anyone when they sneeze, because that's freaking silly ultimately. But, you know, it's the nice thing to say, you know. So, and I was, thankfully, by my parents, I was well trained to be polite. In fact, when I was at Walgreens yesterday getting the cable for the computer, I was going through the line, and this elderly lady who was in line behind me, and not elderly, but older than we are, she dropped something, and I started to bend down to pick it up, and she said, oh, it's all right, I got it. And I said, I'm sorry. And then I said, actually, no, I didn't even say I'm sorry. I said, oh, you can tell my mama trained me well, didn't she? And she started to laugh. And I was like, yeah, I can't. I'm like, I'm sorry. As I see someone drop something, I'm like, go get it. Pick it up, you know. So, and that is, by the way, during a pandemic, that's the wrong thing to do. So that's actually why I brought that up just now. I wanted to point that out. Like, if you were trained to be super polite as a child, good on your parents, good on you for taking that. But keep in mind, like, taking it to heart and practicing it. But keep in mind that now is not the time to be touching other people's stuff. Yeah. Or breathing on other people, and, you know, and I know social distancing is hard because we're primates. We are social creatures who need to be social. Hopefully, I hope every one of you out there has somebody that you share your germs with on a regular basis, so you can be close to them and you can have that contact. But You know, if you don't, just please know that if you don't have that in your immediate life, there is an online community for you, and you know, we're here. And if you need to talk about it, we're here for that too. What you got?
Oh yeah, Andy says yes. I have germ buddies.
Ah, Andy, of course you do.
And Godless Granny says best way to reach your mother is if she meets someone trans and
You're
can
right.
understand their problems.
Godless Granny, you are absolutely correct, because that is what
it's
no,
no.
I need to talk about this.
Of course,
that is what. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just Godless Granny brings up a fantastic point here. It's about individuals, because my parents had bigoted tendencies towards so many different groups until they met individuals of those groups. So, for example, they were born in 42, so they didn't really they were raised during segregation. My father didn't agree with segregation. He thought it was wrong, but at the same time, he hadn't interacted with black children. He'd never gone to school with black children. So, you know, he was fine with being open-minded about religion. Like, he went to school with, you know, Jewish and Catholic and Methodist and you know, anything but Muslim, I guess, kids in Georgia. But then, you know, when he got older, he was like, you know, I don't agree with it. I think everyone should have equal rights, and so did my mother. But then at the same time, they didn't have a lot of black friends until my older brother, Michael, became best friends with Carlos. And Carlos was like my other big brother. And he really was. He absolutely was. Like, I was not, like, when a 6 foot tall, black teenager in Kentucky walks you to your middle school, nobody's gonna beat you up if you're a little white girl. Just saying. Like, just throwing that out there, at least in that time, in that place. And he loved me. And luckily, our families all we're all Catholic. So we would go to their church. They go to our church. We all hung out. They had 4 kids. My parents had 4 kids. Like, we had so much more in common. That was the first domino to fall, right? Was the, hey, this race ain't a thing. We're the same people, right? And we are still in touch with them, by the way. We're still in touch with that family and very close. But moving on, like, in time, like oh, sugar. Where was I going? Oh yeah.
Just knowing people
just
as
knowing
opposed to
people.
concepts.
Yes, knowing people as opposed to abstract concepts. You know, like, my parents were very homophobic until they met a gay kid that they really liked, and then found out he happened to be gay, and then they had to reevaluate, you know. And so you are absolutely right, Godless Granny. Like, my parents need to meet a trans person that at some point they know happens to be trans, and they probably already have. I mean, odds are they have, let's face it. But nobody that has been willing to come out at this point. And they are, you know, 77, so it's a thing. Yeah. But I hope so. I really hope so. Because that is always what changes their minds about crap like that.
That's so often what changes any of our minds.
Any of our minds, yeah.
Or just opens us up to experiences and realities that we didn't realize or didn't think about.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, I became really plugged into disability Twitter, which is a whole separate world in and of itself, and became aware of so many issues that I was previously just completely unaware of because of the privilege that I inherently have by having been born without major medical conditions or handicaps.
And that one doesn't think of.
And if
if
you've been born with legs, you don't necessarily think about certain things.
Right. Like
if you are lucky enough to have a healthy immune system your entire life, you don't necessarily put too much stress on it in cold season.
Yeah.
And then you meet people who are severely immunocompromised for whom cold season carries the possibility of life-threatening illness.
Or death.
Or
For example, last night we were supposed to see the Night Vale podcast at the Germantown Performing Arts Center. And I was so excited because I'm a huge fan, and it's Cecil's last year touring, and I was so excited for any of you who are into Night Vale. Welcome to Night Vale. You'll know what I'm talking about. And they canceled their show, and I was so relieved. Because my brother and we were gonna go, and like 2 of my nieces were gonna go with us, and my brother was gonna go. We are all fans, and I texted my brother and I was like, dude, like, did you know this? Like Cecil's immunocompromised. I'm not saying anything he has not said publicly on the internet, but he's immunocompromised, and I'm terrified. I don't know that we should do this. And then thankfully the Night Vale, sorry guys, cast and crew decided to postpone their tour, and I was so grateful. I felt just so relieved because I didn't want to put him in danger, and I didn't want to put us in danger by putting us in a big auditorium with 200 some odd other people. I just didn't want to do it. But particularly, for folks like him, and he's such a fantastic actor and such a from all I can tell, I mean, I don't know him personally, but from what I can tell, a lovely human being. I don't want to mess
That's the
with...
word on the street.
Yeah, that's the word on the street. That's right. Everybody, I don't want to mess with him. I don't want to mess with his life. Goodness, no.
Yeah.
So I'm so grateful, and I don't even care. Like if they tour later on when everything's safe, that's great. If they tour with someone else when everything's safe, that's great too. Whatever, it's fine. It's not important. The most important thing to me is that he's okay, and all of their cast and crew are okay, and we're okay. That's the most important thing.
And that's really what everything boils down to at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever we have to deal with to make sure that everybody's okay and everybody's loved ones are okay, that's just kind of what we have to do.
Yeah.
We're just gonna have to suck it up and deal with it.
And
we may or may not be real jazzed about staying inside for the next 3 weeks, or however the hell long it's gonna end up being.
However.
But it's just kind of the sacrifice we're going to have to make for the greater good. Yeah. And if I have to spend a little extra time sitting on the couch and watching television in order to make sure that lots of people don't get horribly sick and then die drowning in their own fluids, well, that's a price I am more than willing to pay.
And at this point, I am willing to go to the meme place and say, our grandparents were called to fight. Our great-grandparents were called to fight in the trenches. Our grandparents were called to fight in World War II. We're called to sit our asses on the couch and not infect anybody. Oh, darn. Yeah. Like, such a sacrifice our not greatest generation is making. It's fine. We're cool with it, okay? So, yeah, it's absolutely fine.
And on the note of it's absolutely fine, we've been going an hour and a half, and I think we'll wrap this up.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
It's been lovely visiting with you all. Thank you for everybody in the chat who came and joined us and enriched our experience.
Absolutely. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Mr. Shadow Kitty.
Yes. And Angie and Dave, and who am I missing? Oh, Chris. Thank you, Sutter and Chris. I love you. You know I do. Amiga Nuts. Yes, thank you. I really want to know the origin of your name sometime, but It's like I want
But-
to, but I'm scared.
But do we?
Do we? I don't know. It's up to you, sir. Or ma'am. I don't know who you are.
It's
But it's up to you. It's sir. Okay, good. Good.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap this show, y'all. Thank you so much for joining us. To anybody who happened to watch this on replay, thank you.
Thank you. Bless your heart.
And come back and see us
fuck you in there.
sometime.
Just bless your heart.
Subscribe to me here at the Junk Shop Library channel. Subscribe to her over at the Julie LaVoice channel, where she does Wine and Reason, examining current events from a skeptical, humanist, feminist perspective.
I do indeed.
And
When I can.
we will see y'all again, hopefully before too long.
Yes, before you stop it, taglines.
Taglines, of course.
Mhm. Oh, you won't find reason. Oh, god damn it. Why do you point at me? You point at me first when I fuck it up. Okay, you won't find truth in wine, but you might find it in reason. You will find it in reason. What I'm saying, you won't, hold up, stop, take 5, I don't care. You will, you won't find truth in wine, but you will find it in reason. There we go. Go ahead.
And everybody take care, be safe, stand against hate.
Please.
And wash your fucking hands.
Wash your fucking hands. Love from Memphis.